what's up everybody? Got some Search and Destroy gameplay on Arcade in Modern Warfare 3. I'm going to be really talking about right now though is Dark Knight Rises. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly suggest you just click this off right now because I'm going to be talking about the movie and talking about spoilers and the ending of the movie, characters and everything like that. So if you haven't seen it, please click it off. I don't want to ruin it for anybody because I know a lot of people, sometimes they wait a week or two to go see a blockbuster because they don't like large crowds or kids and stuff like that. But you know, if you haven't seen it, please click it off because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But let's get into it. Might be the only person that actually says this, or anybody that has kind of like the balls to say it. But you know, a lot of people are saying they loved it, they like it, they think it's the best one of the trilogy. But honestly, I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. That's my conclusion. After thinking about it, even I walked out of the movie not liking it, and I still don't like it. And it's very unfortunate. I was. It was just disappointing altogether. It was basically to the point to where I was just sitting there in the movie theater and I couldn't wait till it ended. I mean, that's how disappointed I was in the movie. I was expecting so much more, especially from Christopher Nolan. I thought what he did in The Dark Knight, I thought it was just like a hiccup. I thought maybe. Because honestly, without Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight, I think that movie sucks too, honestly. I think the best one out of the three after looking at everything and looking at like character development, because character development for me is huge, especially in superhero movies. The character development of a superhero and even a villain and their origins and how they became who they were is huge to me. If you're not a big comic book reader fan, you want that in the movies. And I've read a few comic books, read a few like plots and stuff, like looking stuff up on the internet and looking at plots of like the different comic books that have come out for, such as like Batman or Iron Man or, any of the big superhero movies that are out now. Just to get to the real backstories and the real plots of these superhero movies and how they try to portray them in the movies. And so character development is pretty huge with me. And so that's why I think that Batman Begins is the best one out of three, because you see the origins of Batman. You see how he became Batman. You see why he became Batman. You saw all of his training and stuff and all the difficulties he had with his family being killed, and why he became and like overcoming his fears and wanting to become Batman and to basically save his city. But then in The Dark Knight, you see a lot of different other things, and you just don't see any character development after that. I mean, you see the Joker, he shows up, he starts blowing up shit, and he starts killing people. You really have to watch that movie several times to understand any type of why the Joker became the Joker. Basically, he was very intelligent. People thought he was crazy, but he was a very intelligent person who was sick of society. He was sick of how things were run. He was sick of government. He was just sick of society and how people treated each other and blah, blah, blah. So he wanted to show how disgusting people could be, and so he created chaos. And that's why he became the Joker. But you had to watch the movie several times to understand that. You didn't get that. You didn't see a backstory from the Joker. You didn't see a backstory from even Harvey Dent. And it's the same with The Dark Knight Rises. You see I guess you could say three. You could see three new characters within The Dark Knight Rises. You see Catwoman. You see John Blake, who is groomed and tailored to be the next Batman. And then you see Bane. Now I think they spent a little bit more time with John Blake of trying to groom and tailor him to be the new Batman than they did with Catwoman and Bane. They could have did so much more with Catwoman and Bane. They could have really just took the movie to the next level to make it really good or even great, in my opinion. But they didn't. Basically, Catwoman was someone who hated rich people and who liked to steal from rich people and make their lives miserable, and that was pretty much it. But at the same time, she wanted to get out of it and she wanted a new life. Okay. Bane, they didn't do any type of backstory to him until the movie was almost over, which was disappointing. They could have started off with something with Bane. They could have started off with the backstory from the beginning, but they didn't. They waited till almost the ending of the movie to really tell you anything about Bane and why he became himself and how he became part of the League of Shadows and how he took over for Ra's al Ghul after Batman killed Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins. Now, as a movie viewer, as a fan of these superhero movies, it pisses me off that they don't spend time doing this, especially in a movie that was supposed to be 2 hours and 44 minutes long, and that's what The Dark Knight Rises was. And they didn't spend enough time on it. Now, the plot of the whole movie, I mean, of course, yes, I understand. It's called The Dark Knight Rises, but I think they spent way too much time on Bruce Wayne / Batman being depressed for the last 8 years, which was funny. 8 years after Harvey Dent's death, that he basically went into a cocoon for 8 years and didn't want to even come out in public. But then all of a sudden Bane shows up, and Batman comes out of his cocoon and he wants to start kicking ass again. Well, he gets his ass kicked, and it was kind of funny because Bane is superior to Batman in every single way, as far as strength and intelligence and anything that you can think of. He was far superior. The only thing that Bane was weak at was his mask. That was his weakness, and of course Batman exploited his weakness, and he ended up eventually beating Bane. But of course, one of the questions is, throughout the end of the movie, is Bane really dead? You see Catwoman hitting him with a rocket from the Bat motorcycle, which was probably one of the best parts of the actual movie, of seeing Anne Hathaway on the back of that, or riding on the Bat motorcycle and seeing her ass way up in the air. Yes, please, thank you. Love to do that anytime. But seeing her shooting him with the rocket, is he dead? No one can really say, is he dead or is he alive? Because it's kind of funny, like in Dark Knight, the original Dark Knight, Harvey Dent dies from the fall that him and Batman take, but Batman lives. And of course in this movie, Batman takes the nuclear bomb out into the ocean, and it explodes into a blast. But as you see on the end of the movie, Batman and Catwoman are sitting at a diner in Italy, basically kind of like waiting for Alfred to show up, so that Alfred knows that Bruce Wayne is still alive. And of course, at the end of the movie, you see John Blake's character. They finally give his given name, which is Robin. Now, a lot of things are kind of going in circles with this as well. People are not understanding or not really knowing where they're going to go with this, because they could swing it in two different directions. They could just leave it as John Blake becoming a new Batman, and that's it. Or they could swing it in a way that he becomes a new Batman, because in the comic books, Christian Bale's character, Bruce Wayne, is basically the mentor of the new Batman. He basically mentors him, helps him out and stuff like that, but he's no longer Batman. He no longer, gets dressed up in a ridiculous outfit and goes and fights crime. He basically funds all of his stuff and everything like that. But what they could do is, which is a theory of mine, is that they could have him become the new Batman. He gets overwhelmed as Batman, can't handle it. Bruce Wayne comes back as Batman, and then of course it starts a movie along with the Batman and Robin theme. That's one of my theories. Another one of my theories is, I'm wondering what they're going to do with the Justice League. Because right now they only have 2 characters for the Justice League. They're going to have a third one. Of course, you probably saw the Man of Steel teaser trailer before The Dark Knight Rises. So now they have 3 characters for the Justice League. Well, the Justice League is pretty huge as far as the DC comic book world. But one of the main characters is Wonder Woman. They've been trying to make this movie. They've been trying to make Wonder Woman for a while now. I think for the last 3 or 4 years, they've been trying to get a screenplay going, and they just can't do it. Several actresses have said they would be interested in playing Wonder Woman, but they just can't get the production down. They can't get the money to make the actual movie because they don't think there's enough buzz around it. Well, is it possible they might make a solo Catwoman movie again? The Halle Berry one was a disgrace, to be honest with you. It was pretty disgusting. She's hot and everything like that, but the movie just sucked. But could they make an Anne Hathaway type Catwoman and have her be a part of the Justice League instead of Wonder Woman? Who knows? There's a lot of, there's just a lot of questions. I mean, the movie in all, I thought, like I said, I love Christopher Nolan as a director, but I think he was just all over the place in this movie. I think it was bad. The dialogue was horrible. I thought it was written horribly as well. I wish it was just so much more. Maybe I'll when it comes back on DVD, I'll probably watch it again, of course, and try to see if there's any more type of information that I can gather from it. But overall, I was just disappointed. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if you caught anything, or maybe I can like the movie. Maybe I can get explained to it better. But let me know.